the same.
Tamor McIntyre, known for his stage name Tay-K, sat quietly in the courtroom as his case was awaiting to be called up. McIntyre, already convicted of murder in Tarrant County and sentenced to 55 years in prison, has been awaiting trial in the April 2017 capital murder of Mark Anthony Saldivar.
Rappers often gain notoriety for their connections to the criminal underworld, but Tay-K stands out as one of the most notorious. From murder and robbery to resisting arrest, he's left no criminal stone unturned. Yet it seems his time is finally running out, with karma seemingly catching up to him. But is it truly the end? To understand what led to this moment, let's take a closer look at Tay-K's life and the inevitable downfall that followed. Tay-K is set to face a second murder trial, with the date now officially scheduled for February 10, 2025. Already serving a 55-year sentence for his involvement in a 2016 murder in Mansfield, Texas, the rapper's legal battles are far from over. This upcoming trial centers around the 2017 shooting death of Mark Anthony Saldivar in San Antonio. On April 23, 2017, Saldivar was tragically shot and killed outside a Chick-fil-A restaurant during a robbery orchestrated by Tay-K and his accomplices. Court documents obtained by XXL on November 22nd reveal that Tay-K will face charges of capital murder in relation to the incident. The rapper, whose rise to fame was marked by his hit song, The Race, is now confronted with the devastating consequences of his past actions. The trial will be a pivotal moment in his already troubled life, as the stakes are higher than ever. With his future hanging in the balance, this second murder case adds to the growing legal troubles that have overshadowed Tay-K's once promising career. The nature of the case involved a music video, and that music video is very famous and well known, McIntyre's attorney said. We may need more than the average jury pool because people are familiar and may have formed an opinion. According to KSAT.com, a jury pool of 200 potential jurors will be summoned for Tay-K's second murder trial on February 7, 2025, with the trial itself set to begin shortly thereafter. Tay-K, born Tamor McIntyre, is facing charges of capital murder in connection to the fatal shooting of Mark Anthony Saldivar outside a San Antonio Chick-fil-A in 2017. If convicted, the rapper would be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, a grim outcome that looms large over his future. In February of this year, prosecutors extended a plea deal to Tay-K, offering him a chance to avoid the possibility of a life sentence. However, the 24-year-old rejected the offer, choosing instead to fight the charges and take the case to trial. With his fate now in the hands of the court, Tay-K's decision to forgo the plea deal sets the stage for what could be the final chapter in his troubled life. Tay-K's rise to fame began in 2014 when he joined the rap trio Daytona Boys, alongside Pimpies and Santana Sage. Although they released tracks like Drift, the group struggled to break into the competitive local rap scene. It wasn't until Tay-K began pursuing a solo career that he started to gain real recognition. By 2015, songs like Biff Zanin and Sly Cooper showcased his potential as an individual artist within Arlington's rap community, setting the stage for what seemed to be a promising career. However, it was his 2016 release of Mega Man on SoundCloud that catapulted him to fame. The track quickly gained attention, particularly for its raw energy and the controversial circumstances surrounding the rapper at the time. Tay-K's newfound success, however, was overshadowed by his arrest on capital murder charges, a turn of events that would define his legacy in the years to come. The viral success of The Race, a song he recorded while on the run from the law, only intensified his notoriety, cementing his place in hip-hop history, though not for the reasons many fans had hoped.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Tamor Trayvon McIntyre, guilty of the lesser-included offense of murder.
Tay-K remained undeterred by his legal troubles, continuing to release music despite being behind bars or on the run. His most viral hit, The Race, became a phenomenon while he was evading authorities in New Jersey. The song, which detailed his life on the run, resonated with listeners, amplifying his notoriety. The track's success was amplified by the sheer audacity of its creation, with Tay-K's situation fueling its rebellious energy and making it an anthem for his fans. Even from within prison, Tay-K's impact on the music world persisted. He released the mixtape Santana World while incarcerated, showcasing his creative drive despite being cut off from the outside world. A remix of The Race, featuring 21 Savage and Young Nudy, helped elevate the track further, earning a platinum certification from the RIAA in January 2018. His continued musical output and the buzz surrounding his legal situation only added to his mystique, turning him into a legend in the making. Tay-K's undeniable talent caught the attention of major players in the industry, earning him a lucrative record deal with 88 Classic and RCA Records. His collaboration with No Jumper on Hard further cemented his place in the rap scene, and in 2018, he was even shortlisted for the coveted XXL freshman list. Despite his tumultuous personal life and mounting legal issues, Tay-K's charisma and music made him one of the most talked about figures in hip-hop, proving that his influence could not be easily contained. Tay-K's life has been marked by a series of dark and dangerous events, with one of the most pivotal moments occurring at a very young age. On New Year's Day 2016, his involvement in a fatal shooting set the course for the rest of his troubled life. After performing at a New Year's Eve event in Denton, Texas, Tay-K, along with Eric Santana Sage Johnson, a fellow member of the Daytona Boys, found themselves in a car following a heated altercation between two groups of partygoers. In the aftermath, Santana Sage tragically shot and killed Sarah Muchlechner, a University of North Texas student, during a confrontation that escalated quickly. The shooting left Tay-K entangled in a web of criminal activity, which would soon consume his life. While Tay-K was not the one who fired the fatal shot, his association with the crime and his subsequent involvement in other violent acts would soon lead him down a path of legal and personal turmoil. The tragic incident was a harbinger of the escalating violence that would follow, culminating in his eventual arrest and the series of charges that have shaped his infamy in the public eye.
A series of Twitter posts that they say led them to Johnson, all the way from this New Year's Eve party that they say he attended.
The circumstances surrounding the incident were complicated and highly contentious, with witnesses offering conflicting accounts of what transpired before the shooting. Allegations of sexual mistreatment and verbal mistreatment also surfaced, adding further complexity to the case. Despite maintaining his innocence, Eric Santana Sage Johnson, the man responsible for the fatal shooting, was ultimately convicted of murder. He was sentenced to 44 years in prison for his role in the tragic event.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Eric Jamal Johnson, guilty of the offense of murder.
Despite his close involvement in the incident, Tay-K was not charged in connection with Sarah Muchlechner's death. However, the event undeniably left a lasting impact on him, influencing public perception and contributing to the mounting legal issues that would unfold in the following years. The real turning point came with a chilling crime that would solidify Tay-K's reputation in the criminal world. Between July 2016 and 2019, Tay-K became embroiled in a home invasion in Mansfield, Texas, a crime that would haunt him for years to come. Alongside 6 other individuals, including Megan Holt and Ariana Parat, Tay-K was charged with capital murder in connection with the death of Ethan Walker during a botched robbery. The details of the crime were harrowing. Tay-K and his accomplices plotted to rob 17-year-old Zachary Belote, using a scheme to seduce him before carrying out the robbery. Armed with firearms, the group entered Belote's home, leading to a violent confrontation that resulted in the fatal shooting of Ethan Walker and left 2 others wounded. Tay-K's involvement was further solidified when he admitted to his role during an interrogation, intensifying the case against him. Despite his lawyer's attempts to argue against the death penalty, claiming Tay-K's role was less direct, the weight of his actions would continue to push him deeper into legal jeopardy. Tay-K's lawyers also put up a fight for the same cause, claiming that Tay-K only participated in the robbery, was not armed, and had no idea that people would be shot. Despite initial hopes that he would be tried as a juvenile, Tay-K ultimately faced trial as an adult, a decision that would dramatically impact his future. His accomplices in the home invasion received sentences ranging from 20 years to life in prison, with some agreeing to testify against him in exchange for reduced sentences. During his trial, Tay-K pleaded guilty to 2 counts of aggravated robbery, but he was found guilty of murder and an additional count of aggravated robbery. The court's verdict was heavily influenced by the evidence presented, including his viral hit, The Race, a song he recorded while evading law enforcement. The track, which depicted his life on the run, became a focal point in the case, symbolizing his disregard for the law and adding weight to the prosecution's argument that Tay-K had committed the crimes with intent and malice.
Create a song called The Race. I'm the Tay-K, He's running around. He's showing them, they got my face on this, whatever. Poked fun at the whole process of people actually looking for him.
In January 2017, while awaiting his legal hearings, Tay-K was placed on house arrest. However, the confinement didn't sit well with him, and just before his court appearances, he and his friend Jalen Bell decided to remove their ankle monitors and flee. Their escape took them to San Antonio, Texas, as they sought to evade capture. Tay-K's defiance was evident on social media, particularly in a Twitter post where he expressed his frustration with being stuck at home and his determination to avoid getting caught. His flight from the law eventually led him to Elizabeth, New Jersey, where he recorded his breakout hit, The Race. The song, which vividly chronicled his escape from authorities, captured his rebellious spirit with lines like, "Expletive, expletive, expletive, a beat. I was trying to beat a case, but I ain't beat that case expletive. I did the race, skirt, skirt." While the track earned him widespread attention, it was also a major factor in his eventual capture. His bold lyrics outlining his escape only made it easier for law enforcement to track him down.
He was on house arrest. He cut off his ankle monitor, fled the jurisdiction, right? And look, this song indicates he thought he was guilty.
The music video for The Race sparked a viral campaign, with the hashtag #FreeTake spread across social media and propelled the song to debut on the US Billboard Hot 100, eventually peaking at number 44. The video itself is a snapshot of Tay-K's life on the run, filled with adrenaline-pumping scenes that mirror the urgency of his situation. In it, he defiantly smokes next to his own wanted poster, handles firearms in a dimly lit room, and speeds away in a Corvette, symbols of a fleeting moment of freedom caught on film. At just 1 minute and 45 seconds, the video feels abrupt, almost as if it was rushed, mirroring the chaos of Tay-K's life during his escape. The lyrics of The Race echo this sense of reckless defiance, while the visuals serve as a distorted cry for help disguised as bravado. On the surface, the video appears to be a bold statement, but as viewers dig deeper, a darker narrative unfolds. Tay-K's intense gaze, his mismatched group of associates, and the odd juxtaposition of a Nerf gun among real firearms hint at the grim reality beneath the surface. What first seems like innocent rebellion quickly reveals itself to be a cry for survival, with the true nature of his legal troubles becoming evident. The stark reality of the video's message becomes undeniable when the wanted posters appear. These aren't props, with the true nature of his legal troubles becoming evident. The stark reality of the video's message becomes undeniable when the wanted posters appear. These aren't props, but a painful reminder of Tay-K's real-life legal battles. The transition from the music video's stylized narrative to raw, unfiltered truth blurs the lines between art and reality, creating an unsettling yet captivating story. The impact of The Race went far beyond its visuals. The #FreeTake movement gained significant momentum on Twitter, attracting support from influential artists such as Travis Scott, Designer, and Meek Mill, who used their platforms to rally behind the young rapper. This viral campaign only intensified Tay-K's mystique, turning him from a fugitive into a symbol of rebellious defiance, even as his legal troubles continued to mount.
My brother here just got locked up on a gun charge, so you feel me? That's why I was like, free little Tay, no, you keep a K, buddy, not Tay-K. And Tay-K was popping at the time, so I was like, they probably gonna think I'm talking about Tay-K.
Zach Fox couldn't resist, but shared his views on the situation too.
Get Tay-K out of there, man. What's a couple of lives when you got bars?
Fellow rappers like Lil Yachty and Lil Bibby even took to recording their own freestyles over the instrumental of The Race, further emphasizing the song's impact and Tay-K's cultural significance. Kodak Black, expressing solidarity, even mentioned his interest in signing Tay-K during an Instagram livestream, a testament to the rebellious spirit and raw energy of the track. This tumultuous period in Tay-K's life showcased his unrelenting defiance and determination to avoid capture at any cost. The Race not only became a chart-topping hit, but also solidified his status as a controversial figure in the music scene, known as much for his legal battles as for his talent. Yet Tay-K wasn't done pushing the boundaries of the law. During April and May 2017, while on the run, he became involved in a series of violent incidents that would further entangle him in the legal system. On April 23, 2017, Tay-K allegedly shot and killed 23-year-old Mark Anthony Saldivar during a robbery outside a Chick-fil-A in San Antonio, Texas. According to reports, Tay-K and Jalen Bell lured Saldivar into a black SUV under the guise of stealing his photography equipment. When Saldivar tried to escape and call for help, Tay-K allegedly accelerated the vehicle, causing Saldivar to jump onto the hood. Tay-K then exited the car and shot Saldivar before fleeing the scene. A month later, on May 25th, Tay-K was reportedly involved in another violent incident in Cravens Park, Arlington, Texas. 65-year-old Oni Skip Pepe was allegedly attacked and robbed by Tay-K, who reportedly held a gun to Pepe's head and knocked him unconscious before fleeing the scene. Pepe was later discovered by a jogger and identified Tay-K from a photo lineup. Despite his efforts to remain hidden, Tay-K's time on the run came to an abrupt end when he was caught by the U.S. Marshal Service in Elizabeth, New Jersey on June 30th, 2017. In a last-ditch attempt to evade capture, he claimed to have swallowed pills, leading to a hospital visit. However, after medical checks revealed no drugs, Tay-K feigned hearing voices, which landed him in a psychiatric ward for a short period before being officially arrested. In October 2017, additional capital murder charges related to the San Antonio incident were added to Tay-K's case. Police alleged that Tay-K was present in the vehicle during the shooting, and surveillance footage reportedly supported this claim. Initially held on a $500,000 bail, Tay-K saw his bail revoked in February 2018. Following his sentencing for the Mansfield home invasion and murder in August 2019, Tay-K was extradited to Bexar County Jail to await trial for the Mark Saldivar murder case. In November 2019, a Bexar County grand jury indicted him on capital murder charges, further sealing his fate and adding to the list of serious criminal charges against him. Tay-K's time behind bars was far from uneventful, as he continued to attract attention for a series of troubling incidents and alleged criminal activities. In August 2018, while incarcerated, Tay-K faced additional charges for possessing a prohibited item, a mobile phone, hidden in his sock during a routine jail search. The discovery of the phone raised eyebrows, as Tay-K had been using it to conduct an interview from behind bars. In the interview, he boldly declared that he would be released soon, further fueling speculation about his rebellious attitude and sense of invincibility. His defiant behavior only added to the image of a young man unwilling to bow to authority, even while incarcerated.
Think about that. You probably would have already seen the world right now if you weren't locked up. Like there's crazy amount of opportunities to be available to you right now.
Yeah. I mean, they still gonna be there. I'm gonna be out soon.
If that wasn't enough, there was an iPad in the picture too.
The management did not ask me to remove the part where he talked about having an iPad. And so then he gets in solitary, all kinds of whatever additional charges because he had an iPad and he's just in jail using the iPad.
Tay-K's time behind bars was marked by escalating issues and a series of disruptive behaviors that caught the attention of both prison authorities and the public. After the incident involving the mobile phone in August 2018, he was transferred to the maximum security Lon Evans Corrections Center, where he spent most of his time in solitary confinement with very limited access to the gym. During his time at Tarrant County Jail, Tay-K reportedly engaged in unruly conduct, including shouting profanities, making death threats toward a Tarrant County sheriff's sergeant, and throwing food trays and wet toilet paper. He also exceeded his allotted phone time, further escalating tensions with jail officials. Despite his ongoing legal troubles, Tay-K managed a legal victory in 2018 when the Texas Second Court of Appeals ruled in his favor, criticizing the refusal to set bail for his aggravated robbery case. However, bail was still denied for his murder case involving Ethan Walker, leaving his future uncertain and his legal woes mounting. In March 2019, reports surfaced suggesting Tay-K's involvement in forming a prison gang known as the Rug Rats, allegedly affiliated with the Crips and positioned to rival the Texas-based Puro Tango Blast. Authorities responded to these reports by placing Tay-K in solitary confinement after a tip from a warden. Details about the gang's rules emerged, including directives on loyalty, hierarchy, and conduct, signaling Tay-K's continued defiance even within the confines of the prison system. After months of legal battles, Tay-K was sentenced to 55 years in prison for his role in the Mansfield home invasion and murder. However, his legal troubles are far from over, as he still faces additional charges related to ongoing lawsuits and further criminal cases.
The jury deliberated for a little longer than 3 hours today here before deciding on that 55-year sentence.
Despite being behind bars, Tay-K made efforts to maintain his presence in the public eye, capitalizing on his remaining popularity. he continued to communicate with the outside world through social media and personal letters, offering fans a glimpse into his thoughts and experiences. Even from his prison cell, Tay-K was vocal about his frustrations, particularly regarding his management and his perception in the media. In November 2019, Tay-K's Twitter account, which was reportedly managed by a family member against the wishes of his manager, was used to air grievances about his contract with 88 Classic and RCA. He expressed dissatisfaction with the way he had been portrayed by the media, framing himself as misunderstood and taken advantage of in the industry. He expressed a desire to speak out against the misinformation surrounding his life and character, stating, "I'm going to make sure the truth about my life and my character gets out with or without management or a label." In a tweet from 2023, Tay-K reflected on his sentencing and raised concerns about racial disparities within the justice system. He expressed frustration over the severity of his punishment, particularly in comparison to his white co-defendant, and lamented the lack of opportunities available to him as a young black man. He suggested that, had he been white, he might have received more leniency, highlighting the systemic inequalities he believes contributed to his harsh treatment. "I really just need one chance over adulthood. I bet if I was a lil white kid, they wouldn't have gave me no 55 years for a crime I was alleged to play the most insignificant role in when I was 16. They would have rightfully argued that my mind wasn't fully developed and gave me rehabilitation and a second first chance at adulthood. One of my co-defendants was a white girl who was 16, just like me. They didn't certify her as an adult, but they certified me and Pimp as adults. Pimp got 30, I got 55. She ended up getting 10 years of probation without no deal. That girl." The white woman Tay-K referenced in his tweet was his accomplice in the deadly 2016 home invasion in Mansfield, Texas. At the time of her trial, she was 19 years old, and her story was just as complex as Tay-K's. Involved in the same crime, she was initially convicted of capital murder and sentenced to 20 years in prison. However, in August 2019, the Texas Second Court of Appeals overturned her conviction. The court ruled that she had been convicted under an improper theory of capital murder, and that the trial court had made an error by assigning her a legal duty to prevent the robbery. During the trial, it emerged that the woman had been a victim of sex trafficking, manipulated, and coerced by her recruiter and pimp. Despite the evidence supporting her victimization, the judge was skeptical of her claims. The appeals court did acknowledge the sex trafficking but did not cite it as the basis for overturning the conviction. The court recognized that her involvement in the crime seemed to stem more from duress and manipulation than from malicious intent. Her family had reported her trafficking situation to the police prior to the home invasion, and testimonies revealed the extent of her mistreatment, which included physical violence and forced prostitution. Ultimately, in a plea agreement, the woman was granted 10 years of probation instead of prison time. This decision sparked mixed reactions, with some arguing it was unjust, given the severity of the crime and the impact it had on the victim's family. The victim's mother was against this ruling and stated, "It's not justice for people who are trafficked and don't go on to intentionally invade someone's home and leave a dead body." The father shared similar sentiments and said, "This is your doing. Take you out of the equation, and this would have never happened." Tay-K, serving a 55-year sentence for his role in the crime, expressed frustration at the discrepancy in sentencing. He believed that, like the woman, he should have been offered a lighter sentence considering his youth and lack of direct involvement in the violence. He lamented the disparity in treatment and highlighted the systemic issues within the criminal justice system. Tay-K's legal issues severely impacted his music career, especially in May 2018, when Spotify removed his music from curated playlists due to its hate content and hateful conduct policy. This decision, which also affected artists like XXXTentacion and R. Kelly, sparked controversy over the platform's inconsistent enforcement of the policy. Critics argued that Spotify was selectively targeting certain artists while allowing others with similar pasts to remain on the platform. The backlash led to pressure from major figures like Kendrick Lamar, who threatened to withdraw their catalog unless the policy was reconsidered. Ultimately, Spotify acknowledged its mishandling of the situation, with CEO Daniel Ek admitting the policy was wrongfully applied. While XXXTentacion's music was reinstated, Tay-K's and R. Kelly's music remained excluded. Tay-K's rise and fall in the music industry is a tragic tale of talent squandered by violence, defiance, and a string of legal troubles. From his viral hit, The Race, to his eventual conviction and sentencing, His journey is marked by a series of choices that ultimately led him to a life behind bars. If you enjoyed this video, click on the ones showing on your screen now to watch similar content.